All right, guys and gals, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes. David's case is ongoing. He's been in court. Things have been ramping up. Along with his lawyer, his defense lawyer, Blair Burke, and the woman who's actually the prosecutor, Beth Silverman, trying to, prove that he did the crime. There are many details that have arisen in this case.
I mean, it's not going to be that hard to prove what he did, bro. This motherfucker is a monster.
And it's sick, I just gotta say. One of the many details that have arisen indicating that Celeste was indeed pregnant, which was a theory of mine last year.
Oh my god. This little girl was pregnant with this fucking monster's baby, bro. And I think he had her get an abortion one time before.
That she did terminate the pregnancy. A slew of text messages that do indicate that the baby was indeed terminated between Celeste and David. I'm gonna read that for you guys soon. Court images, which are drawings showing different weapons, where Celeste's body was, stuffed in the frunk of that Tesla. Body bags, the burn cage, the pool, a flight purchased by David for Celeste Rivas, who was listed as a 12 to 14-year-old unaccompanied minor. Apparently, she was using United Airlines to make that flight on his behalf. And currently in the case, a photo that prosecutors have used of Celeste, her latest photo, her graduation yearbook photo, as you can see clearly.
From like middle school, bro. From middle school. This monster did this to this little girl who just like graduated middle school. She was 14 years old. I don't even think was she even a freshman? What the fuck, bro?
Was a kid, a young lady who, should have never even been in this situation. I mean, good God, the system failed, her parents failed, the community failed. And they're saying that 7 days after Celeste Rivas' alleged death, David tweeted out this word, one word, tweeted, DK.
Yeah, he's a fucking monster, bro. What the fuck? This shit is fucking insane, bro. Imagine being like rich and famous, having everything in the palm of your fucking hand, but you decide to mess around with a little girl, and then you brutally murder her. I don't know why, for no fucking reason. This fucking monster thought he could get away with this shit too, bro. Because in the minds of these fucking people, they think they can get away with doing shit like this because either they have money or nobody will ever really notice. Nobody's ever going to talk about the fact that their daughter's missing. Huh.
Yes, decay as in reference to a decaying body. Now to get started, they say text reveal teen who singer David is accused of killing was pregnant and had a termination last year before her death. And it's posted by Lauren Conlin on Twitter. She said, text between David and Celeste where he is 19 and she is 13 on both threads. First text thread would appear to imply his mother, Colleen Burke, was aware on June 19th, 2024 at 1:18 a.m.
So his mother knew he was doing this nasty ass shit and she did not get on his stupid ass head, bro. What the fuck? Moms. What? Come on, bro.
Your mom know we had sex yet? David then said, she thinks that the first thing we gonna do when we see each other. So clearly both the mom, David's mom and Celeste's mom knew. They knew about the relationship. That much is known at this point, established. Whether the mom, Celeste's mom, entirely knew who David was or his age was a mystery. But at this time, what was she? 12 years old, max here. It then says more, appearing to refer to the termination. August 30th, 2024 at 2:08 a.m. Celeste said, realistically, I care about you. I terminated my kid first, you, or for you, she said. She meant. David then said, it has to be in the right time with the least complications. Celeste then said, I still would have been there for it. David said, yeah, selfishly, but because it would have also been mine. Celeste then said, David, I'm going to have to lie to people around me, even my kid, for the rest of my life. Celeste then also said, I don't like talking about it because it gets me really upset, but I do it again. So this obviously implies that it likely already happened and they're talking about it post termination. In another string of alleged text, David said, I'm sorry again, baby. I didn't want to ever put you through this. Celeste then said, no, it's okay. Don't worry. Both of us are able to take care of it. David then said, I know, but still. Celeste then said, don't worry about it, my love. David then said, you so much stronger than me. I love you. Celeste then said, I love you more, my love. It's okay, though neither of us are capable of watching the baby. And I just gotta say, obviously, I don't need to exaggerate my emotions about this. We all know it's disgusting.
This shit is fucking evil, bro. Like, this shit is something you hear in fucking like anime and fucking movies, but when somebody actually does this nasty ass shit, bro, like, bro, Like, I don't got words to describe how much I hope this motherfucker burns in fucking hell, bro. Like, I honest hope to God, pray this dude burns in fucking hell, bro.
This as
This
clearly
shit is
and
disgusting.
concisely as possible for you guys so you understand what's happening. David then said, when you gonna get it done? So this was likely before it happened, and the thing I read before was after. Celeste then said 2 days. David then said, my mom said I have to ask this question. Don't get offended, but is it mine? Right. Celeste then said, of course it is David, attached to this image of them.
My Dukes, what are you talking about? Your son was out. You knew he was doing this with his little girl, bro. You go.
Last year. Listen, I gotta say, so clearly both family members knew, the mom, his mom, and her mom.
Mom's trying to pull it. Is
what
that really my grandson?
Circumstances of which they allowed this to happen and why they were okay with this, I have no idea. Would I say I'm shocked? No, I'm sure things like this happen all over the world, all over this country. In fact, luckily for a lot of people though, they just didn't end up getting their lives taken. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest, you know, again, community failed or parents failed. This fucking sick fuck, well, his parents failed him, because how does he turn out to be that way? Everybody failed, right? My thing is, what was it? The money, the fame? Like, I get it. People bend the knee to money, influence, and power all the time. But how do you allow your 12-year-old girl, your daughter at the time, to even be put in danger in such a way, even if it was for the money and the fame? As someone said in the comment section, so wait, David's mother knew Celeste was pregnant? Arrest her to WTF, indeed. I mean, someone here said though, nah, I'm assuming he was manipulating her because he wanted to ask the question, but didn't want to upset her. So he lied and said his mom is the one asking. Possibly. Another person said, I'm sure he 1000% lied to her about her real age. His real age, I think he means. Or does this guy actually mean that she lied to him about his age, or about her age? But then someone below said he lied about this girl's age. Someone thought this girl was 18 plus right here. Yeah, that's just no one's believing that shit, right? Like, clearly this was a middle schooler at best. Another person said here, David, his mom, all his friends and team that knew he was dating a kid, Celeste's parents, all of them need to go to prison. Each and every one of them could have prevented that girl from getting killed. Indeed, they could have, but again, money, power, fame. Oh, it's just too good to pass up, right? Now, as for, and they say here, trigger warning, they say this picture was drawn in court showing the pictures and evidence shown, including the inflatable pool, as we can see right here, as well as the pictures of her body parts, which is, you know, illustrated here, drawn. Unfortunate, disgusting. I gotta say, man, knowing that Celeste probably represents probably thousands to tens of thousands of young women, young girls who have literally been through the same exact thing with no one to protect them. They were just out here just like free balling life, whether they felt like they knew what they were doing at the time or if.
And I think that's the worst thing of it all, is that the only reason why people know and or probably care about this girl is because she was dealing with a famous person who had money and status and was well known. He was a public figure, at least people knew him. There's other girls that go through this shit too, bro, and nobody fucking cares. Nobody knows. They're just another statistic. And I know I'm getting on my high horse preaching and shit, but bro, like, this shit doesn't, if you don't see this shit and think, wow, what a fucked up world this is, I don't know what to tell you, bro. This little girl, really honest to God, believed that this was a good person that gave a fuck about her.
Grown, but clearly in this case, and I believe this wholeheartedly, the ultimate responsibility comes back down to the family, the patriarchs, the matriarchs, the family, and community members to protect young, vulnerable individuals. That's what I believe wholeheartedly. Predators will always exist. They've existed since the beginning of time, and that will never go away. But what we can do is prevent those predators from putting their fucking claws into our young and vulnerable who don't know any better. But they also say very disturbing and gruesome. I hope she gets the justice she deserves. And just to blow up this image here, trash bag, of course, illustration of where her body was stuffed. The Tesla, they say RT knee here. I'm not sure what that means. Of course, the tattoo on her finger. We've seen all of this, right? I've covered all of this. The chainsaw. This appears to be some washing machine. Of course, the inflatable kiddie pool, the chainsaw, the body bags, the burn cage, of course. Here, this says City Morgue, and I believe, I don't know who this guy is right here, but yeah, as you can see, is an illustrated image of David here. It says April 17th with Celeste's finger detached. You know, I kind of want to puke right now. Like, that's disturbing to me. The burn cage fire, I believe here it says up to 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Shovel. It also says, I can't read it. It says spade from something, so I can't really make that out, but you can look at it on screen right here for anybody watching. I gotta say, guys, just so you know a little bit about me, I have a very strong imagination. Like, I have something called hyperphantasia, which allows me to see like 4K images in my head, movie reels, and I can actually extrapolate and project things from things I see in front of me, and you know, imagine what would have happened in a place that I've not been. So when I look at things like this, it actually disturbs my spirit. I'm not gonna lie. Just yeah. I'm not gonna even think that much more of it because it truly is disgusting to me. Like, I would really crash out. I say it all the time if I were a father in the situation. I don't know, man.
Her father, was there a father in this situation? Was what type of fucking dad allows this shit, bro? What the fuck?
I just couldn't contain myself, which is something that scares me of just simply having kids, knowing how I'd likely be if anything bad ever happened to them. And then on to this, posted by Fear Buck. He says David purchased a flight ticket, and I believe this was also presented in court. So the ticket was purchased for Celeste, who was listed as a 12 to 14-year-old unaccompanied minor from Los Angeles to London on September 28th, 2029. Now, wouldn't you need a passport? How could anyone besides someone's legal guardian or parent even book an international flight? There's just no way that could even happen. They also say he also made over $2 million after he allegedly terminated Celeste. And of course, I have to self-censor because YouTube is just weird as hell with the words, man. It's ridiculous. But as we can see here, they say, man, this is crazy to me. Purchase summary, fare, $686. Taxes and fees, $32. Unaccompanied minor fee, $150. One accompanied minor, 12 to 14, right? Trip insurance, $54.73. Total, $923.03. And this was booked from LA to London, apparently. Bro, if it really is this easy to, quite literally, I can't even say the word, but move a human being, a minor, from one location to another internationally without any safeguards whatsoever or confirmation of who's buying the ticket and providing travel, then I now see why it's such a big problem globally. I get it. I understand now. And of course, you know, the comments, fuck. I mean, you could read it for yourself, right? People are bringing up firing squads. You know, a lot of people are saying, how are the parents walking free with no consequences? Another person said, again, everyone knew around David about this little girl. She went backstage to his concerts. Of course, we saw all the images where his brother and his manager and his entourage was. They all knew.
The fact that everybody, there was adults, parents, people that knew about this little girl hanging around this grown-ass man, and not one person said something about it. Not one drop of a mention. You know, yo, who's this little girl following around this grown-ass man, bro? Oh, that's my little cousin. Fuck. Man.
This little girl and didn't say anything about her. Hell will be hot for all of you. Another person said, what kind of absolute shit for brains parents send their 12-year-old daughter to meet some weird adult man without meeting him first? Hey, that's the society we live in for thousands of years, actually. Parents pretty much vetted every guy that their daughter was going to be interacting with outside of the family. And now all of a sudden it's just like, hey, free for all, right? And that was for like actual adult women, much more fucking children. One guy said, y'all don't understand that this was full-blown high-level witchcraft that went on. I kept hearing theories about that, bro. As open-minded as I am, I don't like to dilute cases with woo-woo metaphysical magic conspiracies when it comes to things like this, although I genuinely believe evil is actually present on Earth. Another person said, this is why you need to investigate the family, because how the actual F is an unaccompanied minor just going to London and the parents aren't asking where their daughter is. That is actually mind-blowing to me. Did she really hop on that flight and go to London, bro? Oh my god. And again, another, you know, the photo, the yearbook photo, there's just no way in hell that anybody could think that this young girl was 18 plus. Like, when I see this image, I look at a 14-year-old freshman Max in high school.
Bro, she's wearing a fucking Batman hoodie, bro. This is a little girl, bro. What the fuck?
High school, some people did look younger than they actually were, but still, the baby face, the lack of having a car, a job, the way she typed and communicated. I mean, let's be honest, everybody like involved in this case is just being willfully ignorant and obtuse. Like, genuinely speaking, I gotta say, I don't know if people are ignorant or are they just evil? You know, nowadays I don't even think it's binary anymore. I think it's like a mixture between the two, and people, you know, they trade their morals in for again, fame, clout, money, connections, power. One person said the craziest part about this David case is all you had to do was let her expose him, and N-words would have forgotten it in a week, right? Basically, this has happened like dozens of times for over many decades in the music industry. This is nothing new. It just so happens to be that this crazy fuck went as far as actually terminating this girl. So this is why it's as big as it is. But if she had she came out and said this person did all this to me, I could have seen a timeline where all of this would have been swept under the rug. Course, especially by, you know, major record label execs. Let's be honest.
No lie, bro. I feel like that would have happened too. People would have come out and be like, they would have been mad about this shit for like a month, like everything else, and then they would have moved on to the next person who fucked up in life that month. They wouldn't have cared that fucking much. But bro, or he could have just gone to a different country to continue his career, because some of these artists, if it fucks up here, they'll just go to fucking the UK, Canada, whatever other speaking countries.
May be culpable in activities like this. One person said, nah, age is too low for anyone to forget. Poor child. Huh, my God. Luckily, commenter said, no, there are people in the music industry who are murderers, rapists, and PDFers whose music is still listened to. He would have been all right. On a side note, apparently there's a statue of David somewhere in Houston, which is, hey man, I wonder if that statue is still standing. Someone said that's hard to, bro, delete this comment, man. What? I know this was like 3 years ago, but bro, he follows me too. We follow each other, bro, delete this. Additionally, SZA's mixed up in this situation because she thought, bro, she saw this girl and thought she was 18 now. To be fair, this is a much younger photo of what she actually saw. So, you know, I don't want to indict SZA of anything crazy or weird, right? Because, hey, listen, man, if I do that, bro, that could put me in legal liability. But this is likely the girl she saw, which is Celeste, and how she looked on tour with David. Personally, I don't know. If her identity was concealed the entire time with glasses, a hood.
Jokes aside, he's wearing a t-shirt that says I heart hot moms. Did you put that shit on just specifically so people wouldn't be like, oh, what's he doing with the little girl? No, he likes MILFs. Dog.
Big ass hood over her head, and she was pretty indiscriminate or nondescript. I mean, let's be honest, she's a performer. She's seeing thousands of people, right? So that could be a thing. But they say David revealed to the police officers that he was on tour in Australia with SZA when police showed up to his house and confronted him about sleeping with Celeste Rivas, who was only 13 years old at the time. He met her when she was 11. They said, and I quote, I just came back from tour from Australia. I thought she was 18, SZA said. And so yeah, again, crazy situation to be in. Someone said, I thought she was 18. Then continued to groom and the R word, the young girl, before killing her. They gotta stone this N-word. So I don't know if they're implying that David said that or if SZA said that. But SZA apparently was well aware of this girl's existence. They also say SZA on tour with David in 2023. David got upset when someone asked who is the girl back in 2023, which was 12-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who he was bringing on tour and R-wording every night. And this is him with her on tour, as you can see. I think this girl, I don't know, kind of looks different here, but someone said, hey, who's the girl? And then David said, you are a fed. And then of course we have a screenshot here of SZA unfollowing David. Of course. Listen, again, I don't want to indict SZA of anything crazy. She could be completely innocent in the situation, but I highly doubt she had not seen this girl at least once. You know, at least. Another post with SZA and family members, David, the father, mom, little sister, and yeah.
See, that's when it gets complicated, because when you get to know the mom and dad and you get friends and shit, you don't want to burn bridges. You don't want to burn fucking bridges. You want to keep connections. So she probably knew about this shit. She just acted like she didn't see it, like most people do.
Hey guys, what do you think about this? Clearly he did it. Of course, court, what do you call it? Is a formality. Of course, Sixth Amendment with the right of having a defense, having an attorney, and if you cannot afford one will be provided to you, you know. But for me, it's clear as day that this guy is culpable in this crime in some way, shape, or form. He definitely did it in some way, shape, or form. That much is clear. Unless we're gonna say AI was to blame and that everything was fake, the photos, the text messages, the locations, the photo of him in Lake Elsinore, I believe, in Cali, paying off her friend. Like, come on, there's too much evidence here. Of course, I don't want
They
to
got
get
pictures of this man paying her friend to not snitch on him, bro.
so
What?
I kind of refrain from making definitive statements, but you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. And if I do get sued, you know, GoFundMe a link will be in the description. Hey, but you know, yeah. Anyway, guys, the craziest thing about this entire situation is that David is just the tip of the sphere. He's the tip of the spear. He's the tip of the iceberg. And where there's a David facing public execution, there's likely thousands more hiding behind the shadows, doing the same exact thing he's doing, and probably even worse.